Coming up, Quizhou Tzu Chi volunteers hold scholarship ceremonies for needy students in Luodian County. We take you to Tzu Chi's blessing ceremonies in China's Jiangsu, Fujian, and Sichuan provinces. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. First up in China, Tzu Chi Foundation has been helping impoverished students in Luodian County, Quizhou Province for the past 13 years. On January 4th, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at Luodian National Middle School to award scholarships to students in need. At the ceremony, 12 college students who were former scholarship recipients returned to assist at the event and to encourage those younger to do well in school and count their blessings.
When I was younger, my parents would sell their blood for money to provide us with enough money for school tuition. Then last year, my father was diagnosed with a herniated disc, so I told him I'm quitting school and getting a job.
Li Honghui is not the only one of her peers who comes from an impoverished farming family trying to make ends meet.
I feel that I've received much emotional support from Tzu Chi volunteers as I suffer from low self-esteem and peer pressure. I've learned much from them.
Not only helping students financially, Tzu Chi volunteers also teach students about compassion and doing good deeds, as these concepts will outlast the monetary aid students receive. Learning valuable lessons from volunteers, Tzu Chi scholarship recipients are paying the love forward.
I'm in my third year of college, and by getting a part-time job, I have the ability to make ends meet myself. So I want to give my scholarship to someone else who needs it more than me.
Meanwhile, other students have learned about environmental protection from Tzu Chi volunteers.
There are many plastic bottles at our school and no one sorts them. So I thought to use the student clubs as a platform to spread the message of sorting recyclables.
Over the past 10 years, Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Juanyuan has accompanied many students on their path of learning, and the students, in turn, have come to regard Chen as their second mother.
On the blessing and wisdom lamps, they wrote, "Mom and Dad, I miss you. Tzu Chi aunts and uncles, I love you." So I asked them, "Why did you write that?" They replied, "I miss my parents because they are out of town working and I'm not with them."
To thank the selfless giving of volunteers like Chen Juanyuan, now in college, many former scholarship recipients return to help and pay the love forward. To celebrate the end of a peaceful year and usher in the new year, Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers visited seniors at a local temple in Ho Chi Minh City. Apart from bringing monetary blessings, volunteers also prepared a delicious meal to celebrate the occasion with the residents.
What a pleasure to have friends come afar. This is especially so for seniors at this local temple in Ho Chi Minh City. To welcome in the new year, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a reunion fest for the seniors. There are a lot of senior residents here who have no family and no one to depend on, and there are those who long for their family and parents. Speaking of the seniors, Cai Xiaohua can no longer hold back her tears. We try to think of what we can do to make them feel better. Apart from giving them material assistance and care, we want them to feel the warmth of family. 49 seniors have taken shelter at this local temple. Most are ill, if not poor. As everyone gathers around the table, a bedridden senior is left behind in his room. Volunteer Cai Qinglong brings the senior food and remains by his side.
The other seniors have no problem walking, but there is no one to accompany this grandpa. I thought that he might be bored, so I stayed behind to keep him company.
He chats with me and asks about my family. We spoke about soccer. He is very considerate and has a good sense of humor. He is also a good-looking young man. He is my source of comfort, and that is more effective than medication.
To ensure that the reunion feast is a success, volunteers work together to prepare each meal, with all the ingredients paid for out of their own pockets.
Staying in Vietnam, Tzu Chi volunteers also traveled to Binh Dong province, which is 50 kilometers north of Ho Chi Minh City, to hold winter aid distributions for those in need. Volunteers prepared aid supplies for 500 people, which include food items such as noodles, soy sauce, and 200,000 Vietnamese dong, or $10. The event was held in collaboration with the local Red Cross, with over 100 volunteers assisting at the venue. Warmly welcoming aid recipients, Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers assist the elderly inside the relief distribution venue here at Binh Dong province. Located 50 kilometers north of Ho Chi Minh City, this aid distribution is helping 500 people through the winter days ahead. The relief items include around 200,000 Vietnamese dong, or $10. And the event also marks the first time the local Red Cross is collaborating with Tzu Chi. During the distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers respectfully hand over aid supplies to each recipient.
I'm very happy that I'm here at today's aid distribution.
Receiving this gift from Tzu Chi will provide my son and I with a happy new year. We are very grateful.
At the next distribution venue, many local volunteers arrived to help out, while recipients let the elderly or disabled pick up their items first.
I'm very glad to receive Tzu Chi's aid today. Although I'm physically disabled, I don't put the blame on anyone. I'm glad there are people like you in society to take care of the less fortunate like me.
In the past, perhaps these recipients were often overlooked. However, with Tzu Chi's love and care, their days ahead are looking bright. We have more reports of Tzu Chi's year-end blessing activities in China. At the Tzu Chi grounds in Suzhou, participants learned that they should cherish and respect all living beings, while Chongqing hosted its first ever year-end ceremony, thanks to the hard work of Sichuan volunteers.
At Sichuan's Chongqing, residents bow at 90 degrees as they receive their wisdom and blessing envelopes. While a Chinese tradition, the envelope contains more than just money.
This gift of love I received reminds me of the compassion bestowed upon me, and so I want to pass it forward so more people can have a chance to experience it and know what a wonderful world this is.
This is Tzu Chi's first year-end blessing ceremony in the city. Thanks to the hard work of Sichuan volunteers, residents have learned that though life is finite, our spiritual wisdom is timeless. The Wenchuan earthquake in 2008 first brought Tzu Chi to the region. As the Buddhist NGO helped with recovery and rebuilding, people's lives also changed.
My friends invited me to play mahjong with them, but I really don't have any desire to join them because I feel I can better use the time to do charity work.
To be able to put on the Tzu Chi uniform, even if it's just this volunteer vest, is such an honor. You just feel so fortunate. Knowing that you can help and serve others is such an incredible honor.
A restaurant owner, Huang Deping, is learning to pass on life's truth, goodness, and beauty through Tzu Chi sign language songs. Working together with her fellow volunteers, Huang hopes to inspire more people in Chongqing. Meanwhile, at the year-end blessing ceremony at the Tzu Chi grounds in Suzhou, participants light candles, hoping to become a beacon of selfless giving for others to follow.
我们一起要努力耕耘这块土地，把更多的人接引进来，改变我们以前的生活方式。
We have to work together to cultivate this land and to empower more people to join our ranks. We must change our way of life. We must spend our money wisely and support a cause. Through visitations and interacting with our care recipients, I have learned to humble myself. As I give and serve, I also gain their trust. So as I share my love, I receive more kindness in return, and that's my reward.
Through role-playing, Tzu Chi volunteers become plants and other animals to remind all to respect and cherish all living beings.
In truth, being a vegetarian is probably the most environmental friendly option. It is also what Master Zheng Yan has always preached. However, from what we have observed, people are still not aware of this. So through our performance, we want to help people learn the importance of coexisting in harmony with all living beings. That is my insight from joining the acting team.
In ushering in the new year with Tzu Chi, participants learn to let go of their desires and embrace simplicity. Together, they focus on cultivating their spirituality for the sake of all living beings.
In China's Fujian province, over 1,200 people joined the last day of Tzu Chi's 3-day year-end blessing ceremonies in Fuding. Many volunteers took to the stage to share how Tzu Chi impacted their life, which inspired even more people to join the circle of love.
Love pours out from filled coin banks at Tzu Chi's year-end blessing ceremonies in China's Fujian. The gathering of love is warmer than the winter sun, as volunteers take to the stage to share their insights. Wang Guixiang is a street peddler by trade. Before joining Tzu Chi, her vile temper tormented those who crossed her. Her husband has witnessed her transformation firsthand.
Since joining Tzu Chi, she has really changed. She knows to endure now.
Once an illiterate, Wang Guixiang is now learning to read using Master Zheng Yan's books. She volunteers at Fuding Hospital in the morning and recycles in the afternoon. Her husband also gave up smoking. For all this, the couple has their brother to thank.
We are very grateful to these medical volunteers. They are in the hospital every day.
Wang Niancang has been a volunteer for 18 years and was among the first to join Tzu Chi at Fuding Hospital. Thanks to his hard work, the hospital is now filled with Tzu Chi's humanity. Another notable volunteer here is Zhang Guirong, who is always seen riding her rickshaw rain or shine. She collects recyclables throughout the city's alleyways and staircases. Uninterrupted day and night for the past 7 years, all for the sake of Mother Earth. Zhang's husband passed away early. Over the past 20 years, she raised her children working as a peddler. A chance encounter with Tzu Chi in 2004 changed her life. Just a month ago, Zhang underwent surgery for pituitary adenoma. Even so, she continued to preach conservation to people on the phone.
Over the past few years, she has come to influence quite a few of our members. So we are collecting more and more resources because people admire her.
At the year-end blessing ceremony, volunteers reflect upon the past year and prepare for the coming year, while their heart remains grateful for the chance to make a difference.
Known for its machinery and telecom industries, at a time of rapid economic growth, local residents of Chang'an Town in China's Dongguan City also hope to gain a spiritual sense of upliftment amid their busy lives. For this reason, the local government invited Tzu Chi volunteers to organize a year-end blessing ceremony, hoping the power of love and compassion can be spread throughout Chang'an. At the blessing ceremony was volunteer Qingqing, who took to the stage to share how she has found happiness in her life since joining Tzu Chi.
Dongguan City's Chang'an Town is known as one of the major telecom hubs in China. This year, for the first time ever, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a year-end blessing ceremony at Chang'an Theatre. Students of the Dongguan School of Electronics and Technology also came to support the event and brought their bamboo coin banks to donate to Tzu Chi.
The first time we participated in a Tzu Chi event was at the Winter Aid distribution. At the time, we felt deeply the love of Tzu Chi volunteers. Now that we have the ability, we want to help those who are in need and contribute our strength.
Tzu Chi has taught me a lot. For example, we should cherish our blessings and reach out to others. Over the years, Tzu Chi's winter aid distributions and various recycling activities have gained them the recognition of the Chang'an government. Hence, the local government hopes to introduce this Buddhist NGO to more residents through the festive occasion.
I hope that teams of Tzu Chi volunteers will flourish and prosper in China and set an example for all humanity to follow.
The 3-year-end blessing ceremonies saw more than 3,000 members of the public take part. Even care recipient Lan Yufeng, who suffers from congenital heart disease, came to attend the event despite her health.
Because we received Tzu Chi's help, we want to help others and reach out to those in need.
I finally understand what it means to give selflessly, and it's not only benefiting others, you're also benefiting yourself. Because to bring happiness to others is the biggest blessing in the world.
Upon receiving the red envelopes which symbolize blessings and wisdom, local residents hope to transform this blessing into great love and to reach out to those living in the dark corners of Guangdong.
你今天戴的那个围巾很不错嘞，是不是新买的？
那当然呀，我这去香港血拼回来的，你看。
The lead actress in the short clip is Chongqing, who spent her days shopping and gambling. It wasn't until her father and husband passed away that she woke up to reality.
At the morgue, the Tzu Chi sisters came to chant sutras. One of them hugged me tight and wiped away my tears with her cheek. She told me gently to be brave and that I have to give my best wishes to my husband.
Tzu Chi volunteers' words of comfort gave Hu the courage to move on and later joined the Tzu Chi family. At the blessing ceremony, Hu took to the stage to share her story with members of the audience.
Chang'an is one of the most affluent cities in China. Many people here, however, live a life that's lost and without purpose. I am only sharing my personal experience with others so that they won't end up on the same path like me.
Since joining the volunteers' ranks, Hu has left her sorrows behind, and her work with Tzu Chi with her 2 children has become central to her life.
I kept telling myself that my 2 children also lost their most beloved father, yet they are so brave. Why can't I be the same? As their mother, I should be stronger for them.
Being on the Tzu Chi path, Hu rediscovered happiness and hopes to share this blessing with others at the event.
Since joining Tzu Chi, I realized that anything is possible. Master Zhenyan is correct in saying that excellence is achieved by being mindful. So we should never underestimate ourselves, as we all have limitless potential. I will strive even harder to remain diligent on this Bodhisattva path. As part of our series of reports on wastewater control, today we meet a group of dedicated environmental inspectors to see how they track the sources of pollution, conduct on-site investigations, and educate polluters on the importance of environmental protection.
When the tide came in, most of the boats were colored red. Do you see their holes? They are red.
Unethical polluters secretly discharged untreated wastewater into the Danshui River, causing massive pollution near Bali's Hongshulin. Through the air footage, we can see how widespread the pollution is. From above, one can see the water is colored copper red. Following the footage of their air camera, environmental inspectors were able to track the source of the pollution. Their investigation later showed that illegal discharging went on for 3 months, leaving nearby waters with a pH of 1.67.
Their wastewater discharge violates the Water Pollution Control Act. We will suspend their operation and nullify their wastewater emission certification.
Through the camera from above, one can see another face of Taiwan.
If we only search on the ground, we cannot assess the scale of the pollution or trace the source of the pollution. Even if we know a specific area has a pollution problem, we still need the aerial technology to facilitate our investigation.
The inspector's long-term dedication and relentless spirit is the key to successful environmental protection.
新北市环保局公害澄清办案中心，您好。
Among the 60,000 reporting phone calls every year, only 2% are related to water pollution. To take each lead seriously, day and night there are staff members on duty to carry out inspections whenever and wherever possible.
当然很生气。
I think each member of the public shares the same anger against these polluters. Being an environmental inspector for years, we have seen countless sources of pollutions, so we do our best to track down their source.
污染源找到。
Before they find any evidence of pollution, environmental personnel work on site to take samples. Sometimes they have to work in dangerous environments or use special gear to conduct the on-site investigation. As a qualified inspector, one must be perseverant and cautious.
这个地方有很多青苔，或者是有一些。
As you can see, there's moss and mud in the drain pipe. If we are not mindful, my colleague may slip into the drainage and hurt himself. This kind of accident did happen before, so we have learned to pay extra attention to our own safety when we work in such places.
The samples collected are then sent to a lab for examination instead of handing out punishments. However, inspectors will guide the polluters through a process of upgrading their wastewater treatment systems.
The polluters don't want to invest in water treatment equipment because they think that way they can save more money. But we told them that the fines they will have to pay are enough to set up a water treatment system. So why not make a wise choice? Afterwards, we found many of these polluters decided to upgrade their equipment. I feel great because they stopped polluting our environment.
Holding offenders accountable is the last resort to safeguarding our environment. Only when each individual or company does their part to protect our environment will Taiwan be restored to a pristine state.
In Taiwan, we meet 74-year-old Ms. Chen, who after a car accident 5 years ago came under Tzu Chi's care. Despite living in hardship, Ms. Chen has learned to cherish her blessings and takes part in all sorts of Tzu Chi events, which brings her immeasurable joy from within.
陈妈妈在不在？
Upon seeing volunteer Xie Yingjiao, Ms. Chen gives her a big hug. The affection between the pair is as strong as if they were sisters.
When I was ill or when my legs hurt, Sister Xie was always there to take me to see the doctor.
Regardless of her advanced age, 74-year-old Ms. Chen frequently partakes in Tzu Chi's events. She's not only a recycling and kitchen volunteer, but also helps the Tzu Chi Foundation collect monthly donations in her community.
Ms. Chen often shares with me how inspired she is by Master Zhen Yan's words of wisdom. She says she wants to do as much as possible before it's too late.
5 years ago, a serious car accident began Ms. Chen's affinity with Tzu Chi when she became Tzu Chi care recipient.
After the accident, I prayed to the Master at Bodhisattvas for a speedy recovery so that I could do volunteer work.
Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' long-term care, Ms. Chen learned to seize the moment to help the less fortunate and became one possessed with immeasurable spiritual joy.
At the end of the show, we returned to Tzu Chi Suzhou grounds where 4 year-end blessing ceremonies were held. The sign language performance inspired many in the audience to rethink their actions and adopt a vegetarian diet. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.